Hello, everybody. It's me, Marina Martinez-Bateman. I am the CEO of New Coyote Consulting, and we are an equity and communications consulting firm here in the Pacific Northwest. I'm back in the conference room again, as you can tell. I know last week I said I was just feeling really energized by the protests. I am continuing to feel energized by seeing, hearing, reading about, participating in the resistance to this garbage bullshit administration. They are going to keep trying, and we are going to keep blocking them on every level. I think that we're all doing really good work. Lots of people I know, lots of people in my circles, lots of people in my community are doing what they can and doing their part in the ways that they have skill, have knowledge, have et cetera, whatever. I just feel so, ironically, because of, this is really terrible, everything that's going on, but this is probably the most proud I've felt to be an American in a really, really long time. I have been an activist since I was a teenager. I remember actually the Obama years being some of the hardest years to be an organizer and an activist because everyone assumed, or most normal people assumed, that racism was over, problems were over, everything was over. And then when it turned out that Obama was deporting the most people of any president up until that point, there was no one to help defend people. Now, when it's so blatant and so obvious that we have a xenophobia problem here in America, we have an anti-immigrant problem here in America, we have a immigration policy problem here in America, so many people are coming together to help educate people and help resist and help show up for all of the various groups that are being harmed or are attempting to be harmed by this awful, xenophobic, racist, literal Nazi institution. And it's really nice to see that what I believe about my country, which is that we're full of generally good people who sometimes don't always know what's going on or don't always know what our next step is. And I see that. And not only do I see that, I see a lot of people who maybe were surprised the first time this fuckhead was the president, maybe didn't know necessarily what to do, but who have taken the opportunity in the ensuing years to learn and educate and skill up and develop different networks and show up in ways that they were not taught to, that maybe are even uncomfortable for them, but that are very clearly necessary in this environment. And I'm tired. I see all of you are tired. I see people being tired. I get that. I do. I really, really feel it. And for me, I think that right now, it is a good tired. It is the tired of putting my body, my brain to use in an action, in collective actions and individual actions that are getting results. They're moving the needle. Things are happening. And so I'm welcoming the feeling of tiredness. I'm welcoming the call to rest when I can. I'm being very respectful of my body, and that is something that I am not great at. That's something that I've had to learn how to do better over these years, and I'm implementing those tools in my day-to-day of when is it too much? When is it time to pull back and chill out and, stay home or get some extra rest or try to make up for some of the lack of sleep? Because, my sleep it's hard to find. I've been a lifelong insomniac over the last several years of running New Coyote and implementing more body-led policies in my working life. My insomnia has been the least it's ever been in my life. And of course, I'm still an insomniac. When stressful situations rear up, especially when it's stuff that I feel powerless to deal with, late night is the hardest time, and my brain just sort of runs and runs. But an antidote to that is getting involved and being involved in stuff and showing up for stuff and continuing to invest in my ongoing education and invest in the education of others. Decolonizing management starts next week, and I'm just, every cohort, I say it, but I am so excited for this cohort. Every single cohort is just a new, wonderful, amazing collection of people who are going to give so much to their fellow learners in the cohort and to me, and get so much for themselves and then bring that back to their communities. And I feel it, and I feel how significant that is, how significant it is to just run these cohorts and to do this learning and building and growing together. I am going to be taking a class coming up on restorative justice. I will put the link down below. I'm very excited. I'm very excited for that class. I'm very excited for everything. Like, one of my favorite things about doing the work that I do and working in the intersections that I work in is that there is never going to be a moment where I know everything about this. There is never going to be a moment where I'm actually the smartest person in the room, no matter what we're talking about. There might be moments when I have the facts or the relevant data or the experience that's necessary in this moment, but working for justice, working for liberation, you cannot be the best at it. You just physically cannot do that. All you can do is work towards being better than you were the day before, the week before, the year before. And that's the kind of shit that I love, is knowing that I have a future to grow into, no matter how much I already know or how much I've already experienced, because the context is constantly changing. And for me, that is exciting. That is interesting. That's the stuff that keeps me coming back every day. So have a walk, have a lunch, have a weekend. Do not work for free. I will see you next week.